What's up, dudes? Welcome to another episode of Random Dudes with Random Brews. It's your boy, Drunken Love. Enjoy this episode, and don't forget to drink responsibly. I don't know too much about it, but I feel like
Chris,
this is
it's
Chris's
your favorite beer, so.
I actually don't know much about it either. I know it's
Come
from
on, fucker.
Fullerton. It's a Bootlegger's Brewery, and it's, I think, a 5.1%, right?
Okay, that's enough.
5.3%, my bad. And it's called El Chango. It's a Mexican-American beer-style lager, Mexican-American style lager. So it's one of my favorites, and it's become one of my favorites because of how smooth the actual beer is and how high the alcohol content is, at least. It's slightly higher. It's like not too high, but it's kind of scary that it goes down so smooth. You're just able to pound these. It almost makes it feel like it's not even.
It's actually a 5.3.
Yeah, 5.3.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so it's a little higher than average for Mexican lagers, I would say.
It's pretty good.
And it tastes really smooth. So
Yeah, it doesn't taste heavy at all.
something that's pretty dangerous.
Oh, sorry, I touched your thing.
What thing?
Sorry, guys, we're having
What?
some technical difficulties.
Oh, okay, I see. Got it.
You can hear them rattling around.
Is that good?
Side.
Where?
You can see it down here.
Oh, down here too? Oh, that's crazy. Okay. Got it.
All right, cool.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, so today we're gonna be talking about some of our biggest fears. Do any of you guys have any fears that really stand out to you as an individual, I guess?
Damn, that's hard. That's such a heavy question.
I mean, obviously there's like
Dying.
failing to succeed, stuff like that, but I mean, even something like dying, there's got to be something.
Nah, guys.
I'm
fucking just straight fearless. I'm fucking.
I don't
yeah.
give a fuck about
Yeah.
anything.
So you're not
Oh.
even scared of colonoscopies?
Nah, hell yeah, bring it.
Bring it.
Stick that
He
finger in
said
my
bring
butt.
it. Oh man.
Bring it in my butt.
Jeez. Take
Nah.
it easy, bud.
Bring it in my butt.
For me,
All right. Adrian, you can step back a little bit. I guess the toner mics, they're
picking up a lot.
They're
Huh?
more
You guys-
sensitive,
you guys'
yeah.
fucking mics suck.
'Cause, yeah, you're right. They're not condensers,
Yeah.
so.
This is
Yeah.
our first time recording with a mixer. You guys could probably tell by now because we sound a lot clearer, but we're just trying to figure out who
Figure
needs
it
to
out.
be higher and who needs to be lower. So just bear with us.
Honestly, it's probably because the phantom power.
yeah, it drives it, and it's really works really well. But at
Alright,
the
you
same
lost
time,
me.
it picks up everything.
You lost me.
Oh yeah, the phantom power. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the flux capacitor. That shit's fucking.
The phalange.
The phalange.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
Now,
the
we sa-
ribosome is fucking up.
The ribosome.
It's a powerhouse. cell.
Mitochondria.
Mitochondria is the powerhouse cell.
All right, we sound a lot better now.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Anybody
So-
got any fears that
Yeah,
they'd
what's
like
a
to
fear?
talk about?
Oh, actually, I'm not. I don't know if it's a fear, but like I'm really scared, like sleeping wise. I get like sleep paralysis. I was actually talking to one of my friends the other day about sleep paralysis.
Shit
And
sucks.
that's just like my nightmare, I guess, and like my fear as
It's
well. Like
yeah.
kind of like mixes.
That's horrible.
Yeah, and I got it like last week. I had this dream where I was driving, and I'm not necessarily fearful of driving. I drive like
A lot.
you guys see how I drive.
Yeah.
I'm fucking
Yeah.
wild.
You
Like
fly. You don't. drive.
Yeah.
I'm not even driving. I'm just flying through the freeway because even today I was doing like 100 with my little sister on the side. I was like, "Yo, look at how fast we're going." And she peaks and it's like 100. And I'm just like, "Yeah, I didn't even know we were going this fast." She's like tripping out. She's like, "Why are you going so fast?" I don't know. I just
Toyota baby.
Reminds me
I
of
don't
that-
fear death.
Reminds me of that one video. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen it. But it's like this, I don't even know if they're driving the car, or if the car's just parked there. But this guy's just like, "Why are we driving so fucking fast?"
Oh, yeah. We're parked.
Yeah. Oh
I
man,
remember that
that
video.
video's hilarious.
You know what I'm scared of?
What?
I'm scared of looking stupid whenever I do anything. You know?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's yeah. It's
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
self-conscious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Say you go to an interview or something, and then like you don't know what you're saying,
Yeah.
and then they
And you think about that shit like all day. You're
yeah,
like,
it
oh my
haunts
god,
you, it
bro.
stabs at you every day, like afterward.
To me,
Wow.
what's worse is like not knowing that you're doing something dumb at the time, but then realizing it.
Yeah.
Later
Oh right.
on.
You're like, why
That's
did I
like-
say
yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my god. And then yeah.
But going back to sleep paralysis, like
Yeah.
It's always like, to me, the craziest thing about that was like, let's just forget science was a thing, and like you knew nothing about like science in general. Like, what do you think of seeing demons? You know, like, what are you supposed to think then? So I guess I could see why a lot of religious people, or back in the day, they believed it to be like demons and stuff, because
Yeah.
some of that stuff feels really real. I don't know how you guys feel
Well, I
about
mean,
that.
I
I've
mean,
only had it once.
in
thank
my
God.
nightmare,
Yeah, same.
the one I had last week that I was like actually brought us to this topic. I was driving like normally, like not really fast or anything like that, but there was a red light or a green light had just switched. I'm driving and the car in front of me stops, and I'm pumping the brakes. Like I'm like, okay, I'm chilling. I'm slowing down soon, and my truck doesn't slow down. I drive a truck, by the way, and it does not slow down. And I'm just like, what's going on? I start pounding the brakes until I'm like, just my foot's on the brake, and finally I just, bam, right into the truck, the back of the car. Sorry, my truck hits the car. I knock out.
Wait, how's that sleep paralysis?
Okay, I knock out.
Sorry.
I knock out. Like it's a nightmare. Like,
Yeah.
like I knock out, and there's somebody on the door is like, wake up, and like I come back into like consciousness, and I'm like, what the fuck? My truck's smoking, and I'm just like, I can't get out, and I was stuck. That's what was sleep paralysis. I'm stuck. Like I couldn't move. I couldn't wake up. That was sleep paralysis for me.
That's
But
I understand that there's different like views
Yeah,
of sleep
yeah.
paralysis where you feel like you're awake, and like I don't know, for me it hits me different. I feel like it's a nightmare, but at the same time it's like you understand you're like awake or you're sleeping, but you still can't wake up, and I'm like in that smoke, and I'm like struggling to wake up, and I just can't.
That's lucid dreaming.
That's lucid dreaming.
Lucid
lucid
dreaming is where
dreaming.
you can control your dream, from what I've read.
So
But like sleep paralysis is when you're subconsciously awake,
And your
but-
body's not.
not
Yeah.
oh
so like
shit.
it's like you're literally laying there and you can't move your body.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, but lucid dreaming is more of a you can control your dreams, but you're
Yeah.
more of aware of what's happening.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I have that all the time. Like I know, like it's a dream, and like in my head I'm like,
okay.
oh, that's a dream. It's a dream, and then I just start doing random shit.
yeah,
I have that a lot.
no.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I've only had sleep paralysis once, but I remember that
Oh my
vividly.
gosh, dude.
I woke up, right, but I couldn't move anything, and like only move my eyes. And people say they see demons when they do that because it's something about shadows or something like that. And your mind's trying to make like
Like an
sense
image, yeah.
of what's happening. But like I could only see my ceiling, which is just all white, so I didn't really see anything, any demons. And like thank God, because I always fall asleep on my side, but that day I fell asleep on my back, so I was
I
like
hate
staring up.
falling asleep up.
Yeah.
Like on your back.
But I hear that causes
That's
sleep
what
paralysis.
causes
Yeah.
sleep paralysis.
Sleeping on your back.
Yeah.
Sleeping on your
Oh,
back.
okay.
So-
honestly, sleeping on your back though is really healthy for you.
Yeah, it
like,
is.
In terms of your back, like
Yeah.
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 being well balanced and shit. Because if you sleep on your sides, you have
I sleep on my stomach.
so that's even worse for your back. I heard that sleeping on your stomach is the worst.
Well,
like,
I don't want
position.
sleep paralysis. That's why I sleep on my stomach.
I don't want sleep paralysis. I'll just settle with scoliosis.
Yeah.
Scoliosis and sleep paralysis.
Fuck sleep paralysis. I'm sleeping on my stomach.
No, so I've actually had it maybe happen to me around 5 or 6 times,
Oh, okay.
and at least 3 of those times I've seen some kind of demon or black figure.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, the first time it was pretty trippy because I was taking a nap, and I think I'm pretty sure my eyes were open, and I was looking outside my door because I left my door open, and I would blink, and every time I would blink, there's this figure that would approach me, like closer and closer. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck
Yeah.
that.
And then towards the end, when it was like at my closest, it felt like someone was on top of me, like
Oh, no.
choking me. It was the
On your
worst.
chest.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
my chest.
That's the most like I heard that's one of the most common
most
ones.
common. Yeah,
It's the chest one, and then there's a tall figure.
top figure.
Yeah.
I've seen a figure once in my room too, like in the corner. That one was pretty trippy. I think the one that tripped me out the most was like me seeing a demon. Like I was sleeping on my side, and I was looking at my wall, and I think from like light from the outside in, there was some kind of like leaves rustling. So I saw like a figure on the wall, but it turned into like a demonic face. and I knew what was going on, so I just decided to like let it happen. I knew, but they say that's like the worst thing to do because it gets more intense.
Yeah.
So like the screaming of the demon just got more intense, and I was like, oh fuck, like I gotta fight this. I gotta get out
Just
of
laying
this.
there like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I was just laying there like,
Sit on me already.
It was kind of like what was that movie with James Franco, with the world ending? It's all the famous actors.
Oh, this is the end.
This is the end where what is it? Jonah Hill's getting possessed by the demon. It was like that.
Jesus. Oh god. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So
I think.
I don't think we introduced ourselves in the beginning, did we?
Oh, we didn't. We didn't.
Oh yeah.
We'll start from left to right, I guess. So go ahead.
That's
Alan.
right.
All right. So I'm the best producer here, Alan.
AKA Jamie, AKA Alan.
AKA Alan. Alan's our producer. I'm AJ, AKA Adrian.
I am Ruben, AKA Drunken Love.
Oh shit, big balls here. Just kidding. It's Chris.
Yeah,
Big
who that guy
balls,
is.
Tiny penis Chris.
Oh, yeah.
One who
Totally
pees
right.
on balls. That's what we call him. One who pees on balls. Okay. All right, back to fears. Everybody said a fear, huh?
Oh,
Chris?
we just talked a little bit about one fear.
What was
I
your
guess.
fear?
Yeah, that was.
Did you
I
say
don't-
fear?
I don't know if I have a particular fear. Oh, I actually do. I guess it kind of goes hand in hand with dreaming. Just because it relates to what happened to me last night. So,
Last night?
yeah, last night. So last
Dang.
night I had a dream. Well, let's talk about before I had the dream. I woke up because I got a notification on my phone about the whole Odessa mass shooting, and
So that just happened today.
it woke me up because I get notifications from ABC7, something like that, a news app. So I went back to sleep, and then I had a dream that there's a mass shooting at my school at Cal State LA, and it felt so real. Like
That's horrible.
and I,
Yeah.
like there's not a day that goes by where I think about like there's people that go shopping, and it could be a Walmart, like the Walmart incident that happened. You never think like your significant other is gonna die, and it's probably one of my biggest fears right now, especially with the way the United States is.
Right now.
So I guess that's probably my biggest fear at this moment, just mass shootings in general.
Yeah, that's
And-
that's
Yeah.
definitely a fear right now.
And it's crazy because I work in education, and so like this week we had a lockdown drill. What do you do if there's a school shooter, right? Things like that. And it really hits you. It's like, oh, this really could happen.
Yeah, it
You know,
really could
what do you
happen.
do?
That's scary, dude.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but
I'm just glad I'm out of school. I don't have to deal with that. I'm kidding.
Oh, man.
Fuck you, Chris. He's like, I'm glad I work in an office where.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, I guess the first
The
mass
San
shooting,
Bernardino
yeah,
one-
the
San
first
Bernardino one
the
was in
the
office.
first mass shooting I remember is that San Bernardino one. It was in like an office setting, right?
Yeah.
That one was pretty close to our house, or pretty close to home,
Yeah.
should I say?
well, a lot of places have like a lot of businesses have like, what do you do when there's a shooting? Emergency exits and all that.
Yeah.
Like, how do you like tell if they're gonna do that? Like, because people get mad when they get fired and they come back and shoot the place up.
Yeah.
That used to be the norm back then, right, for things like that. But now, like, kind of shifted
They're-
to schools.
Yeah.
And it's not even when they get fired. It's like they're still working there. And
I don't think it's schools. It's just public places in general.
like it's the most.
I guess schools are heavily targeted, but like public
But,
places
like,
in general.
schools,
Yeah.
why are you gonna target a school? Like that's
has the
that's
most- it has
But
a lot of
those
people.
are I mean those are kids targeting kids for the most part.
that
so
is
they're
like
not
the
really
worst. Like it just pisses me off.
Yeah,
Like
no, definitely. Like, there's a lot of young kids that just haven't even experienced life, and it sucks.
Yeah.
That reminds me of that joke from Dave Chappelle's new special. It's like, why are these kids shooting this place up? Have you guys ever thought about skipping school?
Yeah, that was that on his latest.
The newest one.
stand-up?
His
Yeah.
newest one is like.
Like, he's just trying to piss people off.
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
I
His-
heard he was very controversial, but like,
Yeah.
in the podcast that I was listening to, the H3 Predictions podcast, they were just kind of talking about like, yeah, he did talk about controversial stuff, but he's trying to bring
Things to the table.
things to the table to talk about, and he's just trying to bring humor to it. Although like, maybe it's not funny to some people, because I know he did talk about like transgender people at one point.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
But I was also listening and heard that a transgender person said that when it comes to other issues, like you bring like a public light to it, But when you talk about transgenders, like transgenders get mad at you for bringing some kind of
Yeah.
Well,
like just talking about them when he's not trying to be that way. He's trying to just bring more of an awareness to them.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay,
He
so-
was like,
So the issue here is you're talking about somebody who makes fun of some like an issue, like so say that is not part of that community. So he is not a transgender person. So when he tries to make fun of a transgender like community and he's not a transgender, that in itself is causing the controversy of his humor.
Right, but
But-
there's plenty of people who are, let's just say,
LBG.
I'm
no,
sorry,
never mind,
I've
no.
been drinking.
Yeah,
There are
I don't know
some-
that one.
There are some people who are
LGBTQ.
LGBTQ. Thank you. I'm under the influence right now. Who make fun of heterosexual people, and it's not that big of a deal. So if we really want equality, you know, shouldn't we be able to pick at each other in a lighthearted way?
I mean,
I
then you
believe
get it's just the sensitivity of people. Like some people take offense to it, some people don't. But then you're getting into an argument with a personal argument, not
Right.
like when you have humor, you gotta distance yourself. You gotta take the subject lightheartedly, but that's where the issue comes into place.
So you're kind of saying it's coming from the individual themselves.
More of an individual basis, but
Okay.
it really depends on the person.
Right.
And like, yeah, like for example, some like a touchy subject like race. Some people will find it very funny. Some people won't. It really depends on the context and everything like that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't be of like one race making fun of another race and just sticking to like that race. Like that'd be kind of
It's a little bit more targeted.
yeah,
So
than anything else.
like context is what matters here.
Yeah.
So
But
Uh,
I mean, at the end of the day, his
I-
profession is to be a comedian. So that's
Yeah,
his whole job, is to make fun of
definitely.
things. So
And so him bringing like that comedian life to it, I personally like it. I haven't
Yeah.
heard his new one.
his new one's it's funny, but he definitely
it has its moments.
Yeah,
it
Does it?
does.
it does. Yeah,
Yeah.
it has its moments on like.
I think I
it's
heard the
kinda-
Michael Jackson one was a
line-
little much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one where
Yeah.
he's like talking about Macaulay Culkin. I'm like, oh my god,
That
like, this is not like it was.
But he
I
made-
get why it was huge. Like it was trying to be funny. Like, but I was just like, oh, well, you probably shouldn't say things like that. Like,
Yeah, I mean, like anyone else, you know, you make mistakes, and
Yeah.
him being a comedian, a big comedian, obviously that mistake is going to be.
Nah, but I don't think that
spotlighted.
was a mistake though.
No.
I mean, it's
No, well, he didn't know it was a mistake. You know, he was definitely going for it, but he doesn't know whether or not people are going to take it.
the
but
way.
that's the
Yeah.
point. he's
Actually,
trying
I
to
feel
make.
like he does know exactly how this is gonna impact, and that's why he is doing it, so
Yeah.
he can bring that controversy and that issue to light, and like how I feel like he just wants to set the tone that people can like make fun of other like races, communities without like actually targeting them, and I feel like that's what he brings to it.
That's
and
true.
Yes, he's gonna offend some people, and people are always gonna be offended by like PC culture and all of that, especially with nowadays everybody moving to being politically correct and all. But at the same time, it's like, are we going too far with this political correctness? And I don't know. Humor is gonna be humor,
Yeah.
and as I feel like he does not actually mean some of the stuff that he's saying. It's
Yeah.
just humor.
Exactly.
It's
I
his act.
That's always how Dave Chappelle has been, because I grew up watching Dave Chappelle, and he's by far one of my favorite comedians. And a lot of the stuff he has this whole like segment on like sexually transmitted diseases, and like the way he does it is just so like wrong, because the whole segment he does it with Muppets, like from Sesame Street. But like it's so hilarious, but like in the context itself it's pretty wrong, but that's probably one of my favorite skits he's done.
But like Dave Chappelle knows what he's getting himself into,
Oh yeah,
and he's
definitely.
always
Oh, no,
trying
yeah.
to.
Definitely.
He's always taking his form of comedy. He's never trying to get influenced by anything else.
Which
And,
I
like,
think that's good.
That's why one of the main reasons he refused to go on with the Chappelle Show, just
Yep.
because of all those outside influences and things like that. So like he knows what he's getting himself into. He knows the points he's trying to make, and like he sticks to it. He sticks to his like personality.
Which
He's
is
done,
not an easy thing to do in today's day.
Really?
No, it's
Yeah.
so easy to
Really.
like backpedal and do things
On your
I
own
actually-
opinion, yeah.
I actually remember watching his first episode on Netflix. I did not like it.
Really?
I loved
I
it.
hated
I
it. I
thought it
loved
was
it.
great.
I hated it. I was like,
What?
how are you gonna be like making fun of it? Like, I honestly was like anti Dave Chappelle at that point. I was like, dude, you're old. Like, your comedy is like not funny anymore. Like, this is like 2003 like comedy. Like, you can't bring this back. Like,
No,
I was just like really
I thought it was
offended by
really
some
good.
of the shit he was saying.
I don't
And
really.
then I watched the second one, and that was a little bit better for me, and I got back into it. So I'm really hoping that this third one's like.
Well, if you got offended by the first one, you're gonna get offended by
Yeah,
this
yeah,
one.
the third one is.
So
the
this
one's gonna be
third
just
one,
as
I'm
bad.
actually looking forward to it. Like I know what he's doing, but like we'll see.
No, I liked the first one a lot. I really liked it.
I have to
First
rewatch
one was
the
great.
first
The
one.
one
Maybe
with,
like my
it's-
tone's changed about it, but
Yeah.
It's
Uh,
great.
I did not like it the first time I watched it. For real.
But yeah, that was what were we talking about?
we were talking about fears, and then we started talking about.
Off on a
Dave
tangent.
Chappelle.
started
Yeah, how do we
talking
get
about
to
mass
Dave Chappelle?
shootings because
Mass
that was
shootings.
my
Yeah,
fear.
yeah. I started this.
Yeah. No, it's all good. It's part of. It's why we're podcasting. Just,
Yeah.
I am
Go
the
with the
worst
flow.
producer.
I'm the worst producer. Jamie, no.
Maybe.
Get your shit together, Jamie.
Damn.
Why don't we just pull up a video of that deer? We were also going to talk about
Where?
school, right?
Yeah.
We were?
Yeah, we were going to talk about school
Yeah.
and
Especially
gonna-
because right now,
in terms of higher education. And,
yeah,
and
everybody's
college
going
and
back to
whatnot.
school. I guess the high schoolers and all that going back to school, but
Oh, they've been there for a while
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
They've been for a month.
I mean for college students, I know
Really?
Alan and Chris no longer go to college, but me and Ruben are still stuck.
Sorry for all
Yeah.
y'all who
Shithole.
are still in school.
Yeah.
We
So
know,
we-
actually, it
Ruben
might
just
be-
started. I don't start until like another 2 weeks, which sucks.
You guys in semester or are you guys in quarter?
No, I'm still quarter. I don't know about
I'm
Ruben.
semester,
Your semester already?
Okay.
which sucks because I thought it was going to be quarterly, but I think
Oh,
they
that
switched over to
sucks.
semester. Yeah.
Most Cal States are semester,
Yeah.
Mine isn't. Not yet.
Not
until-
yet,
Not
not
until
till-
next fall.
which sucks because it's gonna ruin your class schedule so bad.
Shut up, Alan.
Oh, reported.
I know this is gonna suck.
Yeah, so I think we were going to talk about whether or not going to school is worth it.
Oh,
I
higher
mean, with all these
education.
mass shootings
Yeah,
going on.
Higher education.
No, I'm kidding.
High school. Make sure you get your high school diploma.
Yeah, no.
Get
Step
in, get
one.
out. Don't stay
Step
in school.
2. Yeah.
I heard the statistics for mass shootings actually goes up if you're in school. Sorry.
Thank you for your statistics, Chris.
Thank you.
Please get out.
Thank
as
you,
soon as
Chris,
can.
for not making me want to go to school anymore.
I'm
Alright.
just putting it out there. It's just not safe to be in
college
I
school.
mean,
is so
realistically,
big.
yeah.
So let's
College is
start.
so
Let's
big.
start
I mean,
with the
UCLA had that incident.
Yeah, but that was it was like
2 years
It
ago?
was a grad student attacking a professor, and like
Yeah.
it was so the UCLA is huge. Like it was just people within that little. And what did he get?
Yeah.
He didn't get that many people, didn't he? I thought he only got the professor
I think
himself.
yeah.
There's
Yeah, I
like-
think that was the case.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like all these college ones, they're like
Just one
you,
person.
You never know. Yeah.
The same thing with the
But
one in
still-
Fullerton, which
Yeah,
happened
that's the one.
recently.
I was gonna bring that one
Yeah.
up. He
Yeah,
just
Cal
killed
State
he just
Fullerton.
killed the professor, right?
Yeah,
He dipped
was
out.
like I don't even think he was hired at the time. I think he was like an
He was
ex-professor. or
he
something like
retired.
that.
He was retired, and he was
recently,
just
yeah.
there.
So the
That's
lesson to the
crazy.
story is don't be a professor.
Yeah. No, yeah,
That's horrible. That's
Yeah,
like my
man.
main goal in life is to be
Oh.
a professor.
I thought I was gonna go back for a PhD.
Right. Fuck
Oh.
that.
So let's go ahead and start with the college grads, which are Chris and,
And
Alan.
Alan.
Let's
Some
go
very-
alet's and start with Chris, who.
Very
Well, let's
prestigious.
just let me just let you speak. Could
He
you,
said very prestigious.
Very-
Yeah, right.
He's very smart and very dumb at the same time. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
so do you feel like college was worth it?
I can't answer that yet. I
I mean, you
actually,
could. You
I'm gonna say
could.
yes. I feel like people should go to college if that's
What you want to do?
what you want to do. If you don't know what you want to do, go to college. It doesn't hurt you unless you're like an art major. Then
Oh man, you just triggered so
then
many people.
No, I'm not gonna discourage anybody from going to college. I definitely like support anybody who's pursuing like a higher degree and even higher education, such as your bachelor's or master's, because it opens up a lot of opportunity. It brings you to like this state of mind where you have an understanding of how a lot of things work, and it also has this social aspect where brings you out of your shell, like for a lot of people at least.
I
So
can see that.
I definitely recommend it. There's a lot of stuff to do in college, and definitely a lot of things to explore and like find who you want to be as a person, what you want to do in life in college rather than high school where you're more limited to like being told what to do, you know?
I could see that.
I
And
can see that, but I could also find the argument in that, what if someone doesn't really have the finances to go, and let's just say they do.
Mhm.
You're saying they can figure out what they want to do, but I feel like in today's day and age, you kind of, especially if you're struggling with money, you kind of have to know what you want to do in life, because you can't really take too many different classes without.
Yeah, you can.
Even with financial struggles, you
So
think.
you can go in undeclared and do your general ed,
But
and within I feel with your general ed done, you have more or less an idea of what you
But
want to do, because that gives you 2 years right there. If you go in undeclared to a college, you get your general ed done, that's 2 years, right?
Doesn't that add more schooling though?
It
No,
really
no, no.
depends.
Usually,
Depends.
so I'm averaging. I'm not saying.
Okay.
Like,
So
you say you want to be an engineer, you're gonna start doing major classes day one. But my big take on college or higher education in general, right, is that you really need to have a point of direction. You need to have
that's
a vision
true.
of what you want to do, because going out of high school, I did well. I got into UCR, which is a good college. I wanted to go to Pomona. I got into Pomona, Cal Poly Pomona, which is a great engineering school. I knew I wanted to do something in the STEM end, but I just couldn't afford Pomona. But UCR gave me scholarships and grants, so I went to UCR. But I didn't really know, other than STEM, what I was gonna do. So I was like, I like computers, I'll do computer engineering, and literally had no, other than like a little bit of electrical knowledge, nothing to do with computer stuff. I did well, surprisingly, but not great. Like, I don't have the best of GPA. I know my stuff, but like class-wise, I don't look that great. So now I'm trying to find a job in it, and it's really hard, just because I don't have a really sense of direction. I took a variety of courses, from graphics to embedded to machine learning and software engineering. Like, I have like from little to great, and I have nothing specialized, and where I don't. So it's really hard to find a job because I don't have that sense of direction that most people have.
but at the same time, I understand your struggle, and I'm there with you right now. I don't know. I'm fresh out of college with Alan, and I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah, you have a job.
I do, but
A good job.
I'm like even with my job right now, I don't know if that's what I want to do. You know, like I would rather be designing and engineering like large scale processes, which is what I learned to do in college, rather than working with small molecules and doing what I do.
But like, you have a sense of direction.
I have a direction. I have a path open to me.
Yeah.
I have a path. I can follow that path, or I can choose to like go a different path. That different path is gonna be a lot harder, and I'm gonna struggle. But will it be worth it on the end? That's a choice I have to make.
Okay.
And the problem I was having was that I was with you, in that I did not have a path after college. I had all this like knowledge, but I was not specialized, like you said,
Mhm.
in a particular like. Or actually, I did specialize in like biology, but that wasn't like I wanted to do large scale processes. And I couldn't find a job either with like large scale processes because I didn't have that experience and all that stuff that would get me to that next level to pursue a job in that, you know?
Yeah, but the point I'm trying to make is that people who have a clear-cut path in what they want to do will, like, flourish in college. They know what they're going to do. They're going to go to college. They're going to bang out those classes. They're going to apply to the classes, the jobs they want. They're going to exceed. But going into college, like, very open-minded, not knowing what you're going to do, not that many people are going to thrive, especially because college is such a different experience than high school,
Yeah.
that people are going to mess up. And once you mess
That's
up, say you're on financial aid and you mess up, you lose that money. You can't afford college like that. It's
True.
Unless
it's
you have
an
generational
investment.
wealth, which we don't.
It's an
Check out our
investment.
first episode. I think from your guys' standpoint, so I think Alan, Chris, and Ruben, you guys went to college right after high school, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
so Alan and Chris went straight to a university, a good UC school. Me and Ruben went to a JC, which is cheaper, and I feel like it was a good option to explore. How you guys are saying, like, I didn't know what I wanted to do, definitely, and I know Ruben, you've always wanted to do engineering for a while, right?
Um, yes and no. I've always wanted to be in, like, kind of like Alan said, like some sort of STEM. For some reason, mechanical just seemed like the obvious option, but I'll get into
Mhm.
that later. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna let you talk
Oh,
about that.
okay. Well, yeah, I went to school. I went to JFU College, community college, and it really allowed me to kind of explore just a little bit, because I always wanted to do some type of engineering. But I feel like the school system failed me in telling me that the education was going to be the same, and that it was only going to take 2 years. It
That's not
took
true.
me, I think, 4 years, 5 years.
Same.
Is that because
Just-
it's over impacted or?
Not because it's impacted. I just feel like, so when you go to community college, you're not really. The environment is different,
Yeah,
I would say.
it's kind of
So,
like a small step up from high school, really.
I've
Yeah.
heard it's like being called a 13th grade.
Yeah. So for
definitely.
me, it was more like I got a job, and I started somehow finding my way to pay some bills. So now I'm kind of like adulting and going to school. So that also prolonged my time in school. So I just feel like going to a community college kind of takes you off the rails a bit, especially if you just want to focus on school, which sounds weird because I know if you want to be a student, you will, but I had to figure out how to get to school. I didn't have a car. It always overheated on me, so I had to buy a car.
I remember that fucking
Yeah.
car.
So I had to take out a car loan, so that means I have to work now. So I just have to balance both work and school, and I work about 35 hours a week,
Mhm.
and I have about 14 units. So it's not something that's easy, especially now because I go to Cal State LA. So even with all that pressure, I'm still kind of figuring out, like, what kind of engineering do I want to do.
Mhm.
I'm 23. I need to figure out my shit, but it's also hard for me to get classes because I have to pay for them.
Mhm.
So for me, the return of going to school is a little iffy. I have a lot of other ideas aside from school, but I just feel like if once I do graduate, I would use my income from, let's just say I get hired at some kind of engineering job. I would
Mhm.
definitely use that income to start my own brewing business or something of that nature.
Yeah, definitely.
That's just the way I see it.
I think we all have some skill sets that we can all bring to the table to make a good business.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I think
definitely.
Yeah.
I definitely got the numbers part.
Okay.
Adrian's definitely
this
got the
brewing
numbers
thing
down.
is happening, guys.
Yeah,
Like,
this brewing thing's happening.
Might
Find
not
us,
be
uh,
soon, but we're definitely gonna make it happen.
First
one way or
podcast,
another.
then beer. So we got the podcast online. Okay, but back to what this whole really topic is about is, do we think school in the long run has a good return in this day and age?
I will attest to this. You will not find a job where I'm working at with this, like, the biology, like, sector without a bachelor's degree.
Yeah. STEM usually just you need a degree. It doesn't even matter the degree sometimes, but you need a degree.
And
But there are also a lot of other jobs that do pay well that don't need degrees.
no, absolutely, you can thrive, but there are gonna be jobs that
More labor, I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah,
definitely
More than
labor.
likely.
I think more now than ever, it's kind of how the saying goes. It's like, not who, or what is it? Not what you know, but who you know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because
That's a lot of
'cause-
networking.
Yeah, because what I'm gonna go for at my university is just basically general management or business management, and I've already landed a spot in that profession, but I haven't even got that degree yet. And I just really worked myself up, and the people I knew around me luckily landed me an interview. But obviously from there I had to do the work and convince them. So I have like an AA from my community college, but it made me probably sound a little bit better, but I don't think that's definitely what landed me the job.
But you're building yourself up.
Yeah,
and,
I am.
And they see that, and the recommendations all point that you're trying to better yourself, and you're
Right.
trying to
Yeah, I mean that
pursue
definitely
that level of
that definitely helps. Like, yo, I'm going to Cal
position.
State and I'm getting my degree in this, which definitely helped. But the people that helped me get to where I'm at, they don't have degrees. They don't have degrees at all, and they make more than me. They're higher up than me. They have more experience than me, and they don't have a degree in anything.
Well, absolutely. That's who is always gonna be like what you know.
Yeah.
And that will be the case because experience beats your education.
Yeah.
Experience will always be education, and I can't drive that fact harder than than I'm trying to make it at this point right now.
Yeah.
Because as much as you learn in college, as
Mhm.
much education you learn, nobody is gonna hire a fresh person that doesn't know how to
Yeah.
that doesn't have
how
those
to do the job.
that doesn't know how to work in a laboratory or
Environment.
that environment,
Right.
that doesn't have those personable skills to be able to talk to people, because work is a lot different than school and just talking to
Yeah.
people. It's yeah, there's a lot of factors that go into it.
Yeah. Definitely.
Which would make it seem like while you're in college, it would be a good idea to get some kind of internship, right?
That is like
Yeah.
That's probably the
half
best thing you can do.
of what's needed.
Yeah,
Like, you need
probably
that
half.
bachelor's and you need that experience.
Yeah,
in
you
it.
need that
Definitely.
experience.
And I
So-
feel like it's more experience than anything.
Yeah. So for me, if I did want to do an internship, it's a little tough because I work a lot and I'm going to school.
And then you have to do the internship.
So how do I get an internship that's going to be stable? Not a lot of internships are stable. Most of them are like a seasonal thing,
Yeah.
and
But the good thing is they pay.
they do pay.
Yeah.
But
Well, not all of them.
But
he's
gonna
Most
lose
of
his
them
job.
do.
But I'm gonna lose my job,
so-
probably.
it's really 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 hard.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But you can also do the research route that gets you a lot of experience, like Chris did, and eventually even people there while going to school will land a paid position to do research.
Yep.
That's
So
also really true.
So
Oh, yeah, you
the
did
way
that whole
I
research
actually
thing.
got my current job, I was an undergraduate researcher for my current boss, and I was pretty much running all his experiments. And I met a lot of people while working as an undergraduate, but he in general was like, once he got out of his PhD program, he called me up. He's like, "You have a job yet?" And I was like,
Hell no.
as I was driving to an engineering job interview, he calls me. He's like, "You got a job? You got a job yet?" At 7 a.m. in the morning, and I'm like, "No, but I'm about to get one." And he's like, "Drop it, come work for me."
Yeah.
He's like,
That's literally
yeah,
what
right.
he said.
He was like, you're not getting that job. Call me back once it's done.
And yeah, sure enough, he was like, I was like, "Send it."
Send it.
And yeah, I
He
guess
sent
what?
me
I fucking sent it.
the application, and I filled it out. I sent him all my resume and everything that I had already put together.
Mhm.
And within the week, I was already interviewing for a position at where I'm currently working.
That's awesome.
That's
So
pretty cool.
So not to get off the rails too much, but didn't you also publish a book with him?
not a book. So when you're in academia, you publish papers,
Papers.
and they get published in magazines or research journals.
Oh, you got credited? I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Yeah, so I'm co-author in three papers, and I'm a mention in one. And so
Do you have any of them still?
What?
Do you have copies of them or anything?
yeah, I
still?
can hand you guys copies. It's
That's Well,
I handed my brother a copy, and he tried to read the title, and he was just like, what is
Just
this
gave it
science
back.
bullshit? And I was like, alright. I had
You're
to
like, you know
beg,
what? Give me my fucking magazine
I
back.
never like really said anything about it. It's just on my resume, like as a.
That's pretty cool.
He's like,
Mention.
this isn't Playboy. I don't want this.
What the heck?
Mitochondrias? Ew, nah.
Powerhouse of the cell? What?
What is it?
This isn't Super Street. What the hell?
Oh, man.
Yeah, but papers are usually really difficult to digest unless you have like a specific background. You've done a shit ton of research behind what you're trying to look into. So
Yeah, but that's what
They're
matters. Those are
really-
the people giving you the job. So
yeah, they're really in depth about like certain topics.
How are we on time, Alan?
we're good. We're about 40 minutes in.
Well, okay. I thought we had a lot more.
Yeah, I thought we were like over an hour already.
Yeah.
No, we're like 40 minutes, so we're still good.
All right.
That's
Cool.
okay.
Cool. So, I feel like we've all gave our input in a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? Do you guys?
But
wanna say
your
anything more?
overall, like wrap it up.
Oh, that. No.
What's your overall take
Well,
on
that's
it?
what I was gonna ask you. I wanted to ask you like, is college worth it? Yes or no? I just want a yes or no answer. Nothing more.
Wow, that's hard.
I know it's hard.
Dang.
It's definitely hard.
I
just-
have some strong opinions about that. I think it's worth it in the long run, but
yeah.
I think there's things that need to change. Like, do you really need to go to college right after high school?
No, definitely not.
Like,
Because I didn't.
if you could take a gap year and afford it,
Yeah.
it's probably the best. But on the other hand, you lose a lot of stuff that you don't use. So
Not to mention if you're like taking math courses and you want to do like an engineering.
Oh my
Oh, yeah,
goodness.
you,
it'd
you
be hard to
forget.
get back into.
Yeah.
That was the
Yeah.
worst thing. I scored so low when I like did. It was the only thing I scored low in was math. When I came back to the JC I went to, me and Ruben went to the same community college, Chafee, and I had this gap. And when I came back, like that was the only thing I scored like pretty low in was the math.
yeah, but like that's the argument you can make, right?
Right.
But sometimes you just need to find your sense of direction, because if you go in knowing what you want to do, you're gonna do so much better. So like
Yeah.
in the end, I think college, even if you don't know, it's still a good thing, because you'll eventually find yourself, and once you finish, you put yourself in a better position than most people, especially because if you do college right, you do your internships, you network, you find your peers, then college is worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But that's hard when you're
you say that,
straight
but like,
out of-
like you can do it like really relatively easy, but
No,
it
yeah,
takes
I
some
don't think
luck.
so.
It takes some luck.
Oh yeah, of course.
And it takes like a lot of drive, and
You said
there's
it
a
takes
lot
some
that
what?
a lot of drive.
No, before
Luck.
that. Luck.
Luck.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a lot of luck.
Not
Yeah.
even luck too. Like I guess luck with a combination of, because some people already have connections before going to a university.
Yeah.
So you never know. Like I guess you could get unlucky. I guess it is like you could get unlucky because someone took your spot because they have
Yeah.
connections and you don't.
Yeah.
I remember I was in the IEEE room, which is like the electrical engineering club, and I was just doing my work in there, and I overhear some people talking, and they're like, "Man, I didn't get that internship. I'm just gonna work in my mom's company."
Wow.
What the heck?
Yeah, it's like, oh, I can't really do that. Well, fuck me then.
yeah. Yeah.
Jesus.
It's a lot. Yeah. Definitely a lot of networking.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would say college in general is worth it unless you have something that you're passionate about that you already know doesn't need a degree. Something like if you are passionate about being a mechanic, maybe trade school would be a better option. If you're passionate about like cars and like just that in general, like trade schools are a thing. Like you don't have to become a mechanical engineer if you're not good at like math and stuff like that. No, there's trade schools. Like,
Yeah,
I
like-
cannot drive that point any harder. Like people don't know this. Like I met like a lot of people that hated engineering because it had math, and I was like, why'd you get mechanical engineering? He's like, I love working on cars. Like, wait,
that's,
what?
like, very- yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
people like drive like college, but yeah, like trade schools, like we need plumbers, electricians, mechanics.
And they
Like,
make a lot of money
yeah.
too. It's not, you don't need
Mhm.
college to make money. Like
Mhm.
college is there to open doors, and those doors you still have to find your own path to
Yeah.
and find what you want to do. College does help you like find yourself. I would definitely make the argument that it is better not to take the gap year and just follow through with college right after high school, because as immature as you graduate, you think you know everything after high school. I definitely thought I knew everything. I thought I was a genius like after high school, and
You still are
little did I
genius,
know
though.
I
No.
got put to shame as soon as I entered college. Like I was getting B's and C's, and I was like, "What's happening?" Like I thought I was smart. Like I didn't. Yeah, I struggled through my first year of college, but at the same time, it also made me.
It's a good like sense of reality check.
Yeah.
You know.
And people definitely need that right after high school. I would not recommend taking that gap because you're immature right after high school. You might like sit at home, just play video games and be a nuisance to like your parents or whoever you're living with.
Yeah,
You
but
might just be lazy and like not want to do anything.
but I can put that same argument to you, right? Like you're immature. Why should you choose what you're gonna do for the rest of your life at that young of an age? Maybe growing up a
You
little
don't.
bit.
You don't have to choose. You just you take classes. You see what you like, and then you pursue what you want to do
But, like-
depending on those classes. That's what I'm saying. Get
but,
your
like,
general ed first.
People get such tunnel vision when you're choosing classes, though. Like you don't know what's out there. Like you don't get that sense of reality just from being in college. Like you said, trade school. How are you gonna figure that out if you're in college? Like,
Well, if you're going to trade school, I feel like you already know.
but that's the thing. Some people
in high
don't know
school.
each other, like what they want. Like that's
But-
why
but that
the
would be
gap
more-
year would be more of a exploring.
Okay, how are you going to explore if you're lazy and not looking
But
at
that's a
something?
different
You're
argument.
assuming
So-
that they're lazy, though.
Yeah, but say you.
I am making that assumption because had they like not been lazy or been searching, and this is just me like making that assumption. Sorry, like I know, I understand there's
Yeah.
people out there that aren't, but if you're lazy and you're not searching and you're not passionate about anything, in high school you're probably like, I'm not gonna say like not doing anything, but like you're playing video games, hanging out with friends, and doing that. What are you gonna do after high school? Do the same thing?
But no,
But all
you're
day?
making that assumption, which is
You're gonna have to
which
get
is
a
Well,
job.
no, even if you
That's what
did
I'm
make
trying
that
to say.
assumption, though, even if you did make that assumption, if they are lazy and they did go to school, wouldn't they just end up dropping out? What makes you think that they're just gonna start trying out of nowhere?
That's true.
Yeah, like
That is true.
put all things to rest, and you make the assumption that they are going to do a reasonable job at searching and being more proactive.
Okay.
So you take that gap year, you can work, you can explore, you can do a little bit more things. Now that you're 18, you have more freedoms.
Uh-huh.
Like, it really puts a sense of reality in, like, what do I really want to do? But
you also have no
hard.
money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Work a little bit.
Okay.
Go out and
I'm making an
experience.
assumption again.
Yeah.
You have no money.
Yeah, that's right.
You're
You put
18.
yourself-
You're out of high school. You have no money. You're kind of forced to either take a job.
But like,
or
there's a
if
lot
you-
of entry level jobs that you can take that put you a little bit more into the field. So like, say you're like, I want to work in cars a little bit. Maybe I'll be a car washer and I could get around the
Environment.
environment, right?
Okay.
Or maybe I want to work with be an electrician. Maybe I can be like like something within the electric company, something small over there. Like you
Alright.
have more freedoms.
All right. Now that
Pursue.
you got to that point, you've taken a job or something and you're exploring. What makes you think you're gonna come back to college?
That is a good point. But I'm saying if you're a little bit more proactive and you figure out what you want to do, you have more of an incentive to go back to college to pursue the things you want to do.
Well, okay, so here's the rebuttal to that. So say you get into the field that you wanted to get into, you work your way up and you make, a decent amount of money.
Why go back?
What?
Why go back?
Why go back? I've spoken to people personally that are really high up, but now they've flatlined. Once you're at the top and you like at a certain, well, not exactly at the top, but at a certain point, and you've met all the people and you're at a good position, you make enough, but those people that I'm speaking to have gotten tired in that position, but now the only way to get higher, okay, they have all this experience, all these, other things, but the thing that they're missing is that really that fucking expensive piece of paper, I don't have a degree.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what really you get beat by at the end, because you could only go up so high, and then you at the end of the day, if there's a bunch of people interviewing for that same job and they probably have the same experience as you, but at the end of the day they have that bachelor's from UCR, UCLA, whatever it might be, that might just put you over the edge.
yeah.
So I think that's the really incentive, because these people are like, yo, I need to go back to school, and these guys are like 30, damn near 40, like, yo, I have to go back to school because I've flatlined, like I've made all the amount of money I can make on just experience.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna say that it's not a thing going back to school in your 30s, because I definitely had some
Yeah.
older people in our classes. Like there were like 30, 40-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like in like maybe one or two inside of like our engineering courses. Like we would see them, and we would talk to them. Like they'd be like, "Oh yeah, like I was in this company. I just didn't like it. I flatlined and I couldn't move up because I didn't have a degree."
Exactly.
And it's kind of rough. I'm gonna say it because
it is.
like you have a family and you're doing school,
And now you're like full grown adult, kids, house, like.
or maybe you don't have a family, and you're just doing it like alone, and that sense of community that you build with people that are younger, like in
That's
around
still
your
kinda
age,
rough.
you're gonna be singled out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yo-
And it shouldn't be that way, but it's just the way
That's just how it is, you know. Kids, it's, as soon as you see an older dude like in the class, you're like instantly like kind of like, what the hell?
I'm not that old. I'm only 23.
But you
Maybe,
still feel like
but
that,
I
right?
still feel
Right,
like
me too.
I'm super old. Why am I
Here,
with these
yeah.
like 20-year-olds? I know it's just like a 3-year difference, but like it's just a mental thing, I think.
Yeah,
And
that's how I feel like.
Yeah,
Man.
it's definitely a little bit of a struggle, but like we're still at that age that you don't even know that you're like if you go up to an 18-year-old in college, they're gonna be like probably assume that you're 18 too.
That's true.
Like we're still that age where we can get away
Yeah.
with that. I remember I went up to a guy during summer session, and I was like, "Oh hey, how old are you? Oh, you're like 20, 22." He's like, "No, I'm 36." I'm like, "What?"
Wow.
And he looked young.
Wow.
Like, and I just assumed, and that's what's probably gonna happen.
Yeah.
That is true.
So we're still in the situation that going to college is the norm. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like there's that stigma that college or getting a degree should only take 4 years. But especially in a STEM
Shit.
degree and
Yeah,
most
right.
degrees, it's probably 5.
Like
Definitely.
I always took like 18 units. I did summer school and I graduated in 4.
Dang.
But did I really need to do that? Now that I go back at it, I'm like, no, I should have done an internship during the summer. I should have took 12 units instead to be
But
more easier.
Did you feel like rushed?
Oh,
like
yeah,
you
definitely.
wanted to?
I wanted to get out. I did not. I didn't. I was done with school. Like 18, like almost 18 years of straight schooling. You
Yeah.
know, you get tired.
Yeah.
Like, after high school, like I was like in my prime. Like but then like after my freshman year of college,
Now
second
imagine
year,
staying
third year.
another 2 years to get that
Yeah.
master's.
Yeah, and that's
And
why I'm like,
imagine-
screw that. I'm not gonna
Imagine
go
doing
back.
another 5 years and getting, or 6 or 8 years for those doing their PhD.
Yeah, like I'm in a little bit of a luxury within like computer science because all I need is a bachelor's. I can make like over 6
Crazy
figures
money,
just
yeah,
with just a
definitely.
bachelor's. And if I wanted to specialize even more, maybe it would be beneficial to me to go back and get a master's. I don't have to,
Yeah.
and I don't think I will because like
Yeah, it's one of those degrees where you're a bachelor's and you're set. Like,
Yeah.
For a while.
Exactly.
but I'm like burned out. you know?
Okay.
So is it worth
Off on
it?
another tangent.
All right.
Is it worth it? Yes
So
or
is it
no,
worth it?
Alan?
Yes.
Me. You know what? I don't know. No. I'm just kidding. Yes.
Another time.
I believe so. Yes, it is worth it. Ruben.
I say yeah.
Yeah.
I say yeah. Without it, I don't think I'd have any kind of direction.
No.
Me
We won't.
personally, that's just me personally. So
Yeah,
that's why
yeah.
I say
I feel that. Chris.
No. No, I'm kidding.
Fucking no.
I actually go and get your degree. I don't care what degree you get it in.
Really.
get-
It doesn't matter. Get
I
a degree.
honestly just want more people to get educated just because, I don't know, like, I want smarter people out there.
That's a very
Okay.
good thing
That
too
is a
that we
good point.
that we
Wait,
did ignore.
that,
like,
that, okay.
we're talking about money, but it's so important to be educated. And
But okay, it's good to be educated, but a good thing, okay, all of us are more well-rounded, more educated, but it also knocks off the actual value of a bachelor's degree. I feel
Okay.
like
Yeah,
Definitely.
I've heard that argument.
like
I don't care.
bachelor's, the
I'd
new
rather
bachelor's
have.
is like an associate's, and like I completely understand, but you know what? As long as it's like
Well, why does
You get
that
that
devalue?
Because there's
more
getting-
people with that.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Like that's
Okay,
it's
okay.
not like a level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
But
argument
that's how
I
it's
make.
viewed
Not
as.
only
Yeah.
that, but I also believe that education should be free.
Yeah, of course.
Because like it should not be merit based like the way it is kind of like right now, like getting scholarships and stuff like that, because a lot of time those scholarships and even grants are people like with higher education, like maybe I don't know if you heard the scandals where lawyers and all that are scamming the system and getting their children in,
Lori
saying
Loughlin. We're calling you out.
saying that their kids aren't making enough money, so they should go to school for free. I think that's BS right there.
Definitely.
And that's why I feel like we should all be on the same footing if we're all going to be going to college. That way, it's the same drive for all of us to get that higher education. It shouldn't be.
I think at a bare minimum, community college should be free. Bare minimum, and then I think,
My sister's just walking in. Excuse her, although you can't see her.
And you're saying
Edit
you
that
think
out.
what?
but at a bare minimum, community college should be free. But anything above that should be at least affordable. Like I want to use UR. Tuition's almost 15 grand a quarter. 3 months.
Jesus.
I mean a year, not a quarter.
So so that I know I'm going off on a tangent again, but let's just say it was more affordable. That I feel like then college does give you more choices to explore at that point.
Oh yeah, of
It
course. That
does.
money's getting put to work.
Yeah.
I think it would definitely bring more people. It would definitely bring more people to college, but I still don't think that maybe it would increase people getting degrees.
I feel it would increase because more people would have the opportunity to be able to go to college.
Okay, it would increase slightly, but I still think like there's
You
still
still need that
definitely work
drive.
ethic.
Proportionally
I-
wise,
yeah,
is what
yeah.
we're
What
talking
I
about?
don't-
Those are ratios.
Yeah.
What I don't like or I don't want would be that our degrees would be devalued because of the level of education that people would be attaining.
But
Like,
the sucky part is that would
like-
happen.
Like
No,
that's
I think it
exact-
would.
No. That's something that could happen because once you put money into it, like say the government starts funding free programs for schools, who
What's
are gonna want to? Everybody's gonna want to take advantage of that. Everybody's
Yeah.
gonna want to get that funding,
look,
and they're just gonna have random professors teaching a bunch of classes.
For example,
and
you have a chemical engineering degree.
Yeah.
The level of difficulty for a chemical engineering degree is not going to change. Yeah, you're going to see a rise in people getting that degree, but you're also going to see the benefits from that. More and more jobs opening. It's not going to change the value of that degree.
Absolutely. But at the same time, I don't want people passing classes that they shouldn't be
But they're
passing.
not.
I don't want professors. I don't want
that's a
schools to
different-
get to that.
But I mean-
That's a
point
different argument.
No,
because they're like so focused on getting that free
I
money.
still
that
still
all
think
that money.
statistically, the more bodies you throw out of school and the more people get in, it's just gonna.
As long as the integrity of
Yeah.
the school
Yeah,
remains
but-
the same,
But that's the point. That's a different argument. Like
that is a different
holding
argument.
everything the same, letting more people in, that's not going to change the value of the degree.
I still think that's arguable.
It's a bunch of different topics
Yeah, it's a
that
different-
interlie with each other.
It's
a lot of-
I feel like currently, and this is like currently, I
Right
feel
now,
like
right this second?
yeah, at this moment in time, that bachelor degrees are already kind of devalued because most of the jobs that we were looking for are asking for like 3+ years of experience. Like a BA is something that is obvious for people to have at this point from a company's perspective. Like, you have to have a bachelor's, but you know what? You have to have 3 years of experience to get this job.
I definitely see that.
I don't understand why some jobs need a degree though.
And
Like
they're
some-
entry level.
Yeah, like some
Entry
things
level.
you don't need a degree for.
Yeah.
Like say entry level accountant. There's some simple math that you can get. There's some concepts that
And they want an
people don't know.
associate or something, or what?
like they want like a bachelor's degree in accounting. I'm like,
Well,
there's certain
There's
things.
plenty of people who like work their way through even retail
Yeah.
who know how to do accounting.
Yeah,
How
there's
to do payrolls.
yeah,
stuff
And
like
you
that.
could be
really
an accountant
well, too.
You could be like an accountant at Food for Less, and you could still get a good accounting job. But accounting is very, either you have experience or you have that degree. Accounting is one of those things where you can get an accounting job with an associate's. And I've done like plenty of research on that, which is why I have an accounting degree and associates, because I just wanted a job.
but like that's just the example I'm putting. I'm saying there's just certain things you don't need a degree in. that
Yeah,
are,
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
be
That's
like,
true.
you need this degree,
Yeah.
or we're not even gonna
Yeah.
consider
So
you.
for like Chris's profession, I definitely feel like you need this fucking degree.
Yeah.
Like, but like in something,
I would argue you don't.
you don't
there
think
are
so?
people
Oh, well,
who are
obviously
really
you knew
good,
more than I do.
Or you don't. You need an understanding of what you're doing. That's definitely something.
Okay.
And a degree does work, but for what I'm doing right now, the like minimal, like even just working in a lab, I really don't think you need a degree for that.
You
I feel like
probably,
out of high school, you have, if you've taken like AP Chem and stuff like that, you can be a lab tech and gain enough experience to be doing the experiments that I'm doing.
But does the company agree with you?
No, absolutely not. I'm saying this.
That's the big part, right?
Yeah.
The reason they require, or I believe that they require a degree, is because there are lots of chemicals that are in our laboratory that someone with a high school degree or not enough level of education might like hurt themselves using, and a company is like trying to minimize lawsuits and stuff like that. So
I mean, obviously you have your opinion about like you don't think you need a degree, but in reality, how you landed that job is because you were trying to get your
absolutely,
degree,
because I was pursuing
going
my
to get your degree. So you met that
because I was
dude.
trying to
You
open
met
up.
that dude, and he called you, yo, do you have a job yet? No. Like, all right, get your ass over here. So that was all in the journey of him getting his degree.
Yes.
So-
SOS.
You know, you don't definitely know where you're gonna land. You just have to try, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Shoot
But
your
yes,
shot.
college is worth it, guys. Go to college.
Screw it. Just go to college. You're gonna get
Just go to
better.
Vote Bernie.
Fuck this whole
Not a
argument.
sponsor.
Bernie, take my debt away.
Well, it's getting pretty late, and I think we're all gonna go grab a bite of something. So catch you guys on the next episode of Random Dudes with Random Brews, and don't forget to drink responsibly. Catch you guys later.